Have you pre-ordered anything yet? I was trying to move my bangs out of my face. Oh my God, this sounds so good. This sounds so good. And it went very Dark Betty, which I was not mad about. Stay tuned for my review. I love a book about a writer. And I just really very much look forward to it. So I'm doing the hand motions. Save your heart. Hi everybody, it's Audrey and welcome back to Chapter and Converse and welcome to my What's New in March video. So if you guys have been around my channel lately, then you will have seen that I did a 2023 books that I pre-ordered so far, but I also promised that I would continue to do these monthly videos because I very much enjoy it. And my pre-orders versus what's coming out versus what I want to read are all very different things. So there is a ton of great books coming out in March. And you guys, I am suffering from first world booktuber problems where I have a bunch of these in arcs and I'm just trying to gobble up everything as fast as I can. And I'm so excited about so many of these books. So let's talk about books that are coming out in March. I will include the dates down below of what I have. Everything will be factual as of the time of me filming this video. I know dates can shift a little bit, although I do feel like in 2023 books, like dates have been pretty solid. So I'm gonna talk really fast. There's a whole mess of books. Let's get into them. Okay, first up is The Kind Worth Saving by Peter Swanson, which I did talk about in that pre-order book video because I pre-ordered it. So I got the shipment notice from Book Depository. My book is in the mail. I'm so excited for this. So I 1000% bought this in September of 2022 as soon as I realized it was coming out and I could pre-order it. And this is the sequel to The Kind Worth Killing, which was my first and favorite Peter Swanson book to date. So I do plan to reread The Kind Worth Killing before I dive into The Kind Worth Saving. And I don't want to tell you guys what the sequel is about because that's not nice. So The Kind Worth Killing is his twist of strangers on a train. It is strangers on a plane. And we have two strangers who meet at Heathrow Airport. And their flight is delayed. They're at the bar. They have a couple of drinks. And Ted tells Lily, these are the strangers, he confesses to her that he thinks his wife is cheating on him. And basically he's like a killer. And Lily is like, I think you should, and let me help you do that. So they hop the flight, they fly back to Boston, and madness ensues, and I loved it. I think it is just, again, I haven't read every Peter Swanson. I still have, I think, 3 to go. Not counting Kind Worth Saving, and I think The Kind Worth Killing is his best yet, but we will see what happens. So I feel like I'm gonna say this for so many of these books. I'm gonna read it on the sooner side, and as soon as I do, I'll let you guys know what I think. So as soon as I read it, I will let you guys know what I think. But when I read it, horn. But when I do read it, you guys will find out about it. The next 2 books I want to talk about are ones that I am very happy to have physical arcs of and I'm super excited about. So the first one is I Love It When You Lie by Kristen Bird. So Kristen and I actually connected on Instagram and she sent me this, which I'm so excited about, and I'm about to start it today as I film this video. I had all the plans of starting it sooner, but life, you guys, life. So I read her first book the night she went missing last year when it came out, and I loved it so much. And I am hearing amazing things about this one, and I have no doubt that it's going to be amazing. So this one is about the Williams girls, and it says they don't just keep secrets, they bury them. Yes. So in this one, they are as close as sisters can be, and they share a special trait. Each has a man in her life whom she could do without. So they wind up returning to their hometown because their grandmother, who on the eve of her 80th birthday has passed away, so they're returning home for her funeral. Their grandmother is the one who raised them, and she taught them all sorts of good things. So it says their grandmother won't be the only one they'll put in a grave this weekend because now someone has gone missing in the dark Appalachian woods. And if Gran has taught them anything, it's how to get rid of a good-for-nothing man. This one sounds so fun. So I love a sister book. I love that female dynamic so much. I am just about done with a book that also has a Nana as a pivotal character, and I love her. And you guys know, if you follow me, that I read Daisy Darker last year, who has a Nana character, and I loved her. So I realized Nana passes here. I hope we get some past Nana. Like, I don't know if we get multiple timelines in this, but I'm just loving a Nana book so much these days. And I know that this is going to be dark and messed up because that's what Kristen Bird does. So very excited for it. Stay tuned. And it says, do you really want to know your family secrets? I do. I do. Thank you very much. And then the second book I have as a physical ARC is from Wednesday Books, and this is Missing Clarissa by Ripley Jones. And it says, everybody loves a dead girl. I mean, I do, and you know what I mean when I say that I do. So in this one, it is comped to A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, which you guys know I loved. And it says, two friends start a true crime podcast with dangerous consequences. So in August 1999, cheerleader Clarissa Campbell was attending a party in her hometown of Orville, Washington, when she walked into the woods, never to be seen again. It's like my favorite premise. With no leads, the case grew cold and Clarissa was never found. So here we are 20 years later, and we have Blair and Cameron. They are high school juniors and they start a true crime podcast, determined to unravel the story of what happened to Clarissa. But soon they discover a nest of dark, small town secrets, yes and please, and no one is safe when everyone has something to hide. So, I live for a true crime podcast. I live for a past and present mystery. I love a cold case and some amateur sleuthing happening here. This also reminds me a bit of the Agathas, even though that was a present day mystery to be solved, but kind of that same high school vibes. You guys know I'm like, actually, coincidentally, maybe not, rewatching Veronica Mars season 1 right now because I just was craving some comfort food on TV, and I just love the vibes of all of that. So from what I can see, we do get some true crime podcast transcripts in here, and I'm excited for this book. So I will let you guys know what I think after I finish it, but thank you again to St. Martin's and Wednesday Books for sending me the ARC. And it also has this fun bookmark in it, so it has like a missing poster kind of a thing. Just a little promo, but fabulous bookmark, which I always need another bookmark because I am a reader and every book needs a bookmark all its own. So very excited for both of these. Okay, next up is What Have We Done by Alex Finley. You guys know I was obsessed with Every Last Fear when it came out a few years ago, and I am thirsting for another Alex Finley book that gives me that same feeling. So what I have heard from some people who have already read this, and I do have a NetGalley arc of it, is that it's a little bit off the rails. So I am excited to go off the rails with Alex. So in this book, we have a past and present mystery, love. 25 years ago, Jenna, Donnie, and Nico were the best of friends, a bond forged as residents of Savior House, an abusive group home for parentless teens. When the house was shut down after the disappearance of several kids, the three were split up. Though the trauma of their childhood has never left them, each went on to live a successful, if troubled, life. They haven't seen each other since they were teens, but now are reunited for a single haunting reason. Someone is trying to kill them. What? To save their lives, the group will have to revisit the nightmares of their childhoods and confront their past, a past that holds the secret to why someone wants them dead. It's a reunion none of them asked for. I love a reunion. And one that none of them wanted, but it may be the only way to save their lives. So, 3 people, 1 deadly secret, someone out to kill them. Yes, please. So I don't know what they did in the past, but I'm thirsty to find out about it. So, yep. Stay tuned. I will be reading this one and I will let you guys know what I think of it at the time, but I'm kind of in the mood for a bit of off the rails. Also hearing his best one yet, you know how that always goes, but I'm super intrigued. And again, he pulls me back. He definitely pulls me back. Another book that is very high on my most anticipated list is The Golden Spoon by Jessa Maxwell. So this one is, a killer is on the loose when someone turns up dead on the set of a TV baking competition. So this is a debut mystery, and it's going to be a limited series on Hulu, which, how cool is that for Jessa Maxwell? So I have seen some great early reviews on this book from people who have had arcs of it. I do have an e-arc of it, which I got recently. Super excited, thank you very much. And on this one, it says, production for the 10th season of Bake Week is ready to begin at the Gothic estate of host and celebrity chef Betsy Martin, and everything seems perfect. Mystery fans, we all know things are not going to be perfect. The 6 contestants work to prove their culinary talents over the course of 5 days. While Betsy is less than thrilled to share the spotlight with a new co-host, the brash and unpredictable Archie Morris. But as the baking competition commences, things begin to go awry. At first, it's merely sabotage. Sugar replaced with salt, a burner turned to high. But when a body is discovered, everyone is a suspect. Yes, and please. So it says, a suspenseful thriller for murder mystery buffs and avid bakers alike, keep you guessing till the very last page. So again, I've heard great things. I die for this cover, you guys. I die for it. And I'm very excited about this book. So it sounds like a good mix of like, I hesitate to say if it's cozy because I read a book recently-ish, within the last 6 months, and I 1000% thought it was going to be a cozy mystery, and I felt like it was pitched cozy, and it went very Dark Betty, which I was not mad about, but I was surprised about. So I don't know. I'll let you know after I read it, of course, if it actually is cozy, but it just sounds like great fun. It really, really does. And it says it's for fans of Lucy Foley, Nita Prose, and Anthony Horowitz, which are all 3 authors that I really, really enjoy. So I do feel like Lucy Foley and Anthony Horowitz can go dark, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure which direction we're going in, but I will be reading it. Next up is Lovely Girls by Margot Hunt. So I have not read a Margot Hunt book in a minute, but I know that this was an Amazon First Reads for this month, if anybody did pick it up. So she's just a fun writer. I very much enjoy her books. She is also one who's not afraid to go dark, which I completely appreciate and enjoy. So in this one, we have a mother and daughter try to start over in an idyllic town, only to get caught up in cliques, mind games, and murder. This is like so up my alley, you guys. After the sudden death of her husband, Kate Turner is looking for a fresh start for herself and her teenage daughter, Alex. They relocate to the beachside town of Shoreham, Florida, where all is not as sunny as it seems. There's a Shoreham in Massachusetts, and I couldn't say it there, and I can't say it now. Although Kate makes fast friends with a trio of fellow moms, their daughters take an instant dislike to Alex, who attempts to document their bullying in her video diary. Kate brushes off Alex's concerns until she receives a series of chilling warnings about the clique of moms from other parents and neighbors. As it becomes harder for her to ignore the malicious undercurrent she senses among her new friends, Kate grows increasingly unsure of who to believe and who to trust. Small-town gossip weaves a harrowing web of jealousy, deceit, and betrayal, and Kate and Alex discover that whether you're in or out, the status quo can turn on you deadly fast. This sounds really intriguing. Again, I know she doesn't shy away from going very dark, and I just really very much look forward to it, so stay tuned for my feelings on that one. The next one I have is The Maid's Diary, and this is by Laurith Ann White. So this one is definitely giving me a little bit of the housemaid vibes, which you guys know, loved. So this one is psychological suspense, and it has Kit Darling is a maid with a snooping problem. She's the invisible girl compelled to poke into her wealthy clients' closely guarded lives. It's a harmless hobby until Kit sees something she can't unsee in the home of her brand new clients. A secret so dark it could destroy the privileged couple who is expecting their first child. This makes Kit dangerous to the couple. In turn, it makes the couple who might kill to keep their secret dangerous to Kit. Then we have a homicide cop named Mallory Van Alst. She is called to a scene at a luxury waterfront home known as the Glass House, and she's confronted with evidence of a violent attack so bloody it's improbable the victim is alive, but there's no body. The homeowners are gone, and their maid is missing. The only witness is the elderly woman next door who woke to screams in the night. The neighbor was also the last person to see Kit Darling alive. So as our detective begins to uncover the secret that has sent the lives of everyone involved on a devious and inescapable collision course, she realizes that nothing is quite as it seems, and no one can escape their past. Yes, and yes. You guys know, I love these kinds of books. I love some police investigation. I'm here for all of it. So it's on the list. Okay, next up we have the new book from Liz Nugent, and it's called Strange Sally Diamond. I feel like so many of these books have twisty names, and they're giving me a run for my money today. Okay, Sally Diamond cannot understand why what she did was so strange. She was only doing what her father told her to do, to put him out with the rubbish when he died. Now Sally is the center of attention, not only from the hungry media and worried police, but also a sinister voice from a past she has no memory of. As she begins to discover the horrors of her childhood, recluse Sally steps into the world for the first time, making new friends, finding independence, and learning that people don't always mean what they say. But when messages start arriving from a stranger who knows far more about her past than she knows herself, Sally's life will be thrown into chaos once again. So, sounds intriguing to me. I have read Lying in Wait, which I really enjoyed. It definitely, for me, was a slower burn. It was very character driven. It's a really good mystery, nice and dark, and then I still have Unraveling Oliver to read. So I really enjoyed Liz Nugent's writing. She has a very good way of creating these very dynamic characters, basing this on the one book of hers that I read that I really enjoyed. But the dynamic between the characters, the motivations, and again, a real darkness to her stories, which I love. This was when I had read Lying in Wait. This is my struggle. I struggle with this a lot these days. I've always struggled with this. Books being pitched as thriller and that meaning one thing in my head. I am currently having the same issue with books being pitched as horror, which to me is Friday the 13th and Freddy Krueger and Scream. So I feel like the words thriller and horror encompass so much. So I thought that, point being is I thought Liz Nugent was going to be fast-paced, high octane, and I really enjoyed the slow-paced slow-paced book. It was character driven. Anyway, I'm excited to see what she comes up with next. And this one just sounds really interesting. I don't know. I'm intrigued by Sally. I'm intrigued by Sally. The next one I have begged for this arc. I don't know if I'm actually going to get it. And this is How I'll Kill You by Ron DeStefano. So this is a book about identical triplets who have a nasty habit of killing their boyfriends. And what happens when the youngest commits their worst crime yet, falling in love with her mark. Make him want you, make him love you, make him dead. So Sissy has an interesting family. Always the careful one, always the cautious one. She's handled the cleanup while her serial killer sisters have carved a path of carnage across the U.S. Now as they arrive in the Arizona heat, Sissy must step up and embrace the family pastime of making a man fall in love with them and then murdering him. Her first target is a young widower named Edison, and their mutual attraction is instant. And while their relationship progresses and most couples would be thinking about picking out china patterns and moving in together, Sissy's family is reminding her to think about picking out burial sites and moving on. Oh, so Sissy starts to feel protective of him and she doesn't want to kill him and she can't help it, but she's fallen in love with him. But the clock is ticking and her sisters are growing restless. It becomes clear that the gravesite she chooses will hide a body no matter what happens. But if she betrays her family, will the body be hers? This is a book that I had heard about, I want to say towards the end of last year, because people had arcs of it. So I heard about it, immediately Googled it, realized it hadn't come out yet, then went back and realized people had arcs of it, and I have been intrigued since then. So again, I love a family dynamic. I love a sisterhood book as much as I love a dark and female friendship book. Obviously, this is dark and messed up because they are luring people to their death. Thank you very much. And it just sounds really, really good. Did I say Ron DeStefano? It's Ren DeStefano. So I am just very intrigued by this book. It sounds completely up my alley, and I'm going to get my hands on it one way or another. And when I do, I'm going to keep saying it. I will tell you guys all about it. So I'm very, very excited for this book. It just sounds great. I also feel like I've been waiting for that one for a while, and sadly for me, this was not one of those books that already came out in the UK that I could grab. So I'll be grabbing it when it comes out. The next one is one I stumbled upon randomly, and this is A Flaw in the Design by Nathan Oates. So this is about a professor whose life is turned upside down when he takes in his charming, wildly dangerous nephew, whose wealthy parents have just died under mysterious circumstances. So psychological thriller. Gil is a creative writing professor. I love a book about a writer. And he is living in a bucolic Vermont town where he receives some shocking news. Her sister and her husband have been killed in a car accident. So Gil and his wife are taking in the 17-year-old nephew named Matthew, but they're a little hesitant to do it because they haven't seen Matthew in 7 years, and the last time their families were together, Matthew lured Gil's young daughter into a terrifying, life-threatening situation. So ever since then, Gil has been estranged from his sister because not cool, Matthew, not freaking cool. But now Matthew is in their charge and living under their roof. So he seems charming and smart and not affected by his parents' death. And Gil is hoping they can put the past behind him. And he is surprised when Matthew then signs up for his creative writing class. Matthew sounds like a handful, to say the least. So Matthew begins to turn in chilling stories about the imagined death of Gil's family and his own parents. Gil ultimately decides he must take matters into his own hands before life imitates art. Oh my God, this sounds so good. This sounds so good. I'm so intrigued by this. Matthew, I'm very, very curious to see what is going on in Matthew's head, because it sounds like Matthew's got some stuff. Matthew's got some stuff, and we're going to find out what it is. We're going to get to the bottom of it, and I'll let you know. I'll let you know when I get it. So that's going to do it for my high level, what's coming out in March that I have my eye on. And I'm just excited, you guys. I can't, again, if you saw my pre-order video, I can't get over how many amazing books are coming out this year. I know the last 2 years have been a little bit of like a struggle street on the publishing front, and there have been some amazing books that have come out that I've devoured like a crazy lady. But honestly, I feel like every time I turn around, every time I hop on Instagram, every time I like randomly, my favorite thing in the world is to go to a bookstore and just walk around and just discover things. It used to be my favorite thing to do, and I couldn't do it for a while. And I just feel like I'm constantly discovering something or someone new. And we've all talked about this. We all need more hours in the day to read. So let me know, you guys, what is your like most anticipated book of March? Have you had a chance to read any of these yet? Have you pre-ordered anything yet? I was trying to move my bangs out of my face and just let me know what you're excited to read this month. So thank you guys so much for watching. I have been filming for a bit, and I'm definitely stumbling over my words at this stage of the game, and I feel like my growling stomach has become a third party in this video. So I'm gonna fly, but let me know how you guys are doing. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in another video really soon. Happy new releases, everybody. Bye.